We don't know exactly what's wrong with it. I bought it broken.
We got a special package.
Rah, rah, rah.
Up in arms.
These guys around here are in love with chain.
Especially 2 chains right here.
I feel personally attacked by my own comment. Building a chopper and yet we're gonna run a f***ing ECM and a damn fuel injection and f***ing garbage.
Before we get too far into the video, for those of you that don't know, we give away motorcycles. We've given away over 10 so far and we're not slowing down. We're currently building and giving away a 1960s Harley-Davidson Panhead. The Blockhead community has shown us so much support, so as a thank you, this is our way of giving back to our community that has given us so much opportunity, giving you guys a custom one-of-a-kind Blockhead-built motorcycle. Entering is simple, just head over to blockheadmoto.com, sign up and select a tier for your chance to win. By selecting a tier, you also unlock exclusive perks such as early access to new episodes, exclusive access to our Discord server community, and big discounts on our merchandise. Don't miss out on this incredible opportunity to possibly win this 1960s Harley-Davidson Panhead. Head over to blockheadmoto.com, sign up for your chance to win a Blockhead-built Harley-Davidson. Thanks for watching, guys. Now back to the video.
What up, Block fam? Welcome to today's episode where we are continuing work on the Harley-Davidson Sportster chopper. Whee! Chris has got a piece for the fender bracket that he's measured and is cutting. Lots of cut metal in building a chopper. Makes sense, right? I mean, you're chopping. Chopper.
It's a chopper, come on.
This is kind of where we've gotten to the point of remocking it up. I thought we were going to need some wheel spacers. TC Bros actually provided us with axle adjusters, which kind of have the spacers built into them, which takes up that extra gap. So you basically have the axle, the frame, the axle adjusters, stock spacers, and then the sprockets. Over here, you've got the stock caliper bracket. The wheel is nice and centered up in line with the frame and the front. The fender just set on here for now to where we want it to be. I've discovered that these really strong magnets, a very strong ally, basically having stuff stick to where you need it to go. Front end, back on, nothing's really tightened up because we're obviously gonna have to take it all back down. We do have to balance the wheels still, but I'm gonna go ahead and add the spacers and make sure that we're good on the front wheel. We're gonna just go ahead and continue, jump right back into the modern Sportster chopper build. I'm not feeling the best today, so if I am moving a little slower, that's why. Apologies there. Let's get to work. Time lapse time. All right, guys, so we've basically measured where we want the fender. We have marked center line, and Chris has taken the bracket and trimmed it up. So we are getting ready to basically tack onto the fender, line up the frame, and then we'll basically like drill and tap frame with the gas tank. Like you guys saw, cut this part off and then rounded this out, and then took the tank ears off as well. This was basically at a wrong angle, and so it was causing the tank here to be like too far up. And so I needed to basically like bend it back. So I literally took the tank, put this piece into here, pulled back on the top of it, and slightly bent that lower piece. So now it pretty much sets nice and flush here, right along with where we want the line of the tank to go. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna add a piece like similar to that, just like a piece of metal into here, and have it come forward so that we can basically drill and tap it into the frame on the top there. We're gonna come back to this in just a second, but we did get a package in just now for the guys from Rock, who is one of our channel sponsor. Been with them for years and years, and so
We got a special package. Not that one.
Rock hit me up today and they were like, hey, you guys should have some stuff arriving today. All right, have at it.
Whose is what? It's a black bag. That one I believe is me.
Oh, it is sick.
This one is just... It works.
Hell yeah.
gonna get hit.
That's the helmet test. Hey, congrats on your helmets, guys. Thanks for All right, back to the chopper. I've got to take this rear wheel off because we're going to be putting the brake in a different spot. Also learned that the rear brake bracket are not the correct ones for an 11.5-inch rotor, which is what we have here, what we ordered. 2011 to 2013s. It is a 10-inch rear rotor. The caliper bracket that we have right here is not long enough to fit that one. So what TC Bros advises, this is totally our mistake, oversight on my part. In the directions, it does say that we need to basically buy one from, I want to say like 2007 to 2010. 2011, 2013 Harley Sportster models came with a smaller rear rotor. And you'll basically need to convert the caliper bracket to a 08 to 2010 model. The part numbers are there. So the rear brake caliper bracket, part number there, and the rear wheel spacer, part number there. We are going to go ahead and order that so that we can use the same rear rotor as that's on the front. But for now, this kind of suffices. And the reason that we need this on here is to basically mock up how the exhaust is going to run. I wanted to kind of follow the line of the frame, so I'd rather have it like come downwards and then follow frame, and then we're going to go up with it. Because like I said, we're making those, you know, really tall exhaust pipes that follow the back of the seat, and they're going to have those little, we commented on them in one of the last videos. You guys called them all sorts of other stuff. So they're the little exhaust toppers or flappers or rain guards or whatever you want to call them from like semi-trucks back in the day. We also got the tank mounted. So basically the last thing you guys kind of saw was me cutting this. We also like cut a piece to fill in that gap there, and we put a bracket on the front, drilled and tapped the frame and got that basically like on there. Now we are going to have all this cleaned up, so we're not going to leave it as is right now, and we also might add some additional support like underneath it. One of the things, and this is something that I wanted to try to avoid with building a modern Harley-Davidson Sportster chopper, is that it is rubber mounted. So that means there is basically rubber between the engine and the frame, and fuel injected, so not carbureted and not rigid mount. And that was like one of the significant things about building this chopper. So it was like a modern chopper, but unfortunately we're not going to be able to keep it rubber mounted. So we did put the rubber mounts back in, but kind of thought about the fact that since it won't be isolated as it's a rubber mount, since we'll have the exhaust basically like running down here and going way up, there will be a lot of shake in the exhaust essentially. And then there will also be a lot of chain slap. Instead of like movement just up and down, it'll have movement left to right as well. So that's unfortunately something that we're not able to keep, is the rubber mounting. It's something I wanted to. We do have the rigid mount stuff here, so that'll basically plug right into where those rubber mounts are in the front of the frame, here and here. Sorry guys, I really wanted to keep it rubber mounted, but with the chain and with the exhaust, it's just not doable. The chain being the most important thing. The exhaust is whatever. Definitely can't have that chain slap to it. Total transparency. Did get a little ahead of ourselves. We're used to working on big V twins, right? This is a big V twin. That's a big V twin. And they have the belts on the left. Sportsters have the belts on the right. Whenever I initially put the wheel on, I put the sprocket on this side. And then whenever Chris was doing all the measurements and stuff, like I said, we're used to working on big V twins. We did the measurement of where the chain would go, and the chain would basically have gone there, so we cut the fender out, and then we realized that's supposed to be on the right side, so welded it back together, and we're gonna TIG welding back on that as well, and then it'll polish and get painted, and you'll never know it was there. Did get the oil tank bracket mounted. We got the seat bracket mounted as well. We got the sissy bar kind of welded, tacked for the rear bracket here, and for the bottom brackets as well as the fender support. So I need to basically take the rear wheel apart. I don't necessarily need to have the brake on there, but we're doing it just for spacing. Definitely learning a lot thus far. It's my first like real, you know, in-depth hands-on chopper build. There's a ton of stuff that I would take into future builds that I've learned from this one already. All right, let's get back to it.
Eliminating everything that we're not gonna need. Everything that goes to the hand controls is gonna just come out of it. And everything else will just get tricked and or left out. We
Check
may
engine
or may
lights for
not-
days.
No, I don't think we'll have one
don't think
in
so?
the end. Because this isn't a CAN bus system.
Well, we're not gonna have a f***ing gauge to be able to tell anyway, so.
Exactly. Won't matter. There's no speedo, ain't no shit on it.
Remember back in the day I made a video relocating the gauge for the Harley-Davidson Iron 883, and I relocated it to the left side through the front tank bolt, and people were like all up in arms, like, you can't even see it, you gotta lean
Up
left,
in
blah,
arms?
blah, 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 blah. Yeah, like
Can we
pinions.
talk about that for a second? What does that mean? Up
Like,
in arms.
just like a pile of arms, and they're just like up in them.
They were up in it?
Yeah.
I'm confused. Did that come from like a time where people were like rah rah rah
Up in arms?
Or
Yeah.
were they like,
I think it means like arms,
or
like
were people like those arms?
those arms.
It wasn't like people picking people up. It's
Bear arms, bro. Yeah, like arms from bears.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Grizzly
Well,
bears,
I'm glad I have that right.
specifically.
You know, I have a bear over there in the woods that has a shotgun, and I'm glad that I get to keep him.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm entitled to his arms.
That's right.
Anyways, people were complaining about that gauge relocation, and now we're totally doing with the gauge. So let's hear what you guys got to say about that.
Up in arms.
Chopper. So at this point, Chris is going to take the exhaust off, weld up the rest of it. I'm going to take off the tank and basically get all the paint off of it. Oh yeah, we did decide on a place for the taillight as well, so got a bracket in there. We're getting some different clamps here, just because I'm not a fan of like these sticking out.
I am.
Chris is a fan. It's just one of those things, like during the whole build, it's like we're going to disagree on some things.
I'm a big fan of it.
Yeah, that's where we're at right now. We have discussed about like building something right here to be able to hide the electronics as well. We're gonna take some parts off and continue working on it.
If you notice, I think we're like almost out.
Why aren't you using TIG, bro? Why aren't you TIG welding it?
Do we own one?
Nope. It's just gonna be everybody in the comment section. No, should have been TIG welding.
Well, let's go buy one, and we can. But to be honest with you, MIG's gonna be fine for this. It's mild steel.
And if you guys want us to have a TIG welder, by all means, the link to the shop is publicly available. You can send us one if you'd like.
How about you just come spend some money here, and then we can just go buy our own.
Or that. Blockheadgarage.com, filled the form, get you booked. All right, guys, so we've got the exhaust pretty much all done up. Chris took it, welded it fully all around, and then polished a bit, used the grinder on it to round out all the curves. And these were a bit sharp, and so we basically were able to round out everything and make it nice and smooth. We've got the tank stripped, good. I'm really liking this like stripped down raw metal look. Do me a huge favor, because like I'm super torn on what direction to go with this thing, but I'm really liking this look. If you guys are enjoying the way it looks with just the raw metal like this, let me know. Maybe we'll put it to a vote, because originally I was talking about doing it like with this teal color, like this kind of Tiffany blue, right? This one here. I don't know, I'm really enjoying this kind of vibe to it. So it's like maybe we leave this one like this raw metal, like Mad Max vibe, like I was saying, and then we do a future one, you know, with that like kind of teal vibe. Drop your thoughts below, let me know, because I am super torn on it. So next steps, Chris is basically grinding down a bracket right now for us to be able to mount the rear taillight. So that's what you guys are gonna see next. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna have it come on this side, we're gonna weld this. We're also gonna like grind these down or cut them a bit, weld the nuts onto the bracketry so that the pipes bolt up right here. We are getting new brackets for these also, so that there's no like little pieces sticking out there, even though Chris likes it. It's like an interruption in the flow visually of all this, like this is too. And so I'd really like to actually like maybe get those like a little more slimmed down, but we can always remove them too, and they look good.
I think it looks good without them.
Yeah. Really gives it that like double barrel vibe. And then after that, we are gonna start working on the engine, seeing if we can get this bike up and running. So we don't know exactly what's wrong with it. I bought it broken. They were saying something with the bottom end. If there was something in the bottom end, you would think it would, like these would be in way worse shape. We ended up splitting the case a little bit, cleaning out the inside of the case, making sure that it was all good. The crank looked fine. We're basically gonna just put it back together, try to get it started, and diagnose it for ourselves from there. So that's where we're at. Gonna weld that, then we're gonna get started on getting the engine back together, and then the wiring.
Building a chopper, and yet we're gonna run a fucking ECM and a damn fuel injection and fucking garbage. So now what am I doing? Here's your fuel pump. I've now put a disconnect right at the tank. Now we can wire the tank and actually take it off with that thing on and still run this through the frame so it's clean. But no matter what we do, see that garbage hanging down there? Yep, it's gotta hang there. No matter what. It's bullshit.
So the Sportster build is going awesome.
Oh, have you even told him what the he's doing?
Not yet.
Ah, well, congratulations, people. He's cutting the nut off because it's welded itself to the sprocket. I want to just say it's 3:09 p.m. on Thursday, and we're leaving at like noontime tomorrow.
All right, guys. So this is the sprocket nut, and it will not come off. Hit it with like a PB blaster to basically like loosen or break it free. Hit it with this torch, breaker bar. Actually a longer breaker bar than this. And then on that breaker bar, we put this bar. So it was setting out like here, broke the breaker bar and used an impact. So nothing will break it free. It's essentially welded itself to it. Hey, movement. There you go. Word. Chris, with this ring, put your finger out, bro.
I'm good.
All that to do with chain conversion.
Yeah, chain.
These guys around here are in love with chain.
Yeah.
Especially 2 chains right here.
Also for pants.
It's a gold chain. Chris says chains are for your neck.
Later.
Can't let it.
Can't let it what, Chris? Can't let it what?
Look at that thing. Can you get in on this? I don't even know. Like, I tried to just throw a light ball hone on that, but there's, dude,
Yeah,
you know
it's-
me. Look at that side. There's
Yeah.
no way I can let that run.
Like
Even
it-
if we're like, we just wanted to sit here.
Yeah, it physically has like grooves in it, pretty good. So we were trying to get this bike finished up for the Orange County Choppers Invitational over at the OCC Roadhouse in Clearwater, and unfortunately we were not able to make that deadline. And one of the things is we're basically getting the engine back together and feeling terrible about it because of the condition of these parts. So like we just showed you guys the cylinder.
rear and this one's the front.
Yeah, the cylinders are in pretty bad shape. The pistons also in pretty bad shape, especially the skirts. We didn't end up continuing just because it doesn't feel right to put something back together that's like that. Our contact at S&S, I know he really loves Sportsters, and so I hit him up and I was like, hey, we're doing this Sportster build. Would you guys potentially be interested in being a part of it? And they said yes. So we're gonna install an S&S 1250 Hooligan kit on this chopper, which is funny because now it's gonna be a fast Sportster chopper.
You know, somebody, I got in the comments, I laughed at it because somebody said, I feel like Chris personally attacked me
What?
by saying that you don't need to speed
Oh,
everywhere.
you don't have to speed everywhere? Yeah.
I tend to agree with you. I feel personally attacked by my own comment. But, you know, that is true. We don't need to speed everywhere. So, anyways, you control it now.
Yep.
1250, you just control it with your hand.
All that. So, yeah, we're going to go ahead and end the episode here because I think this one is getting pretty lengthy. We've made a lot of progress since the start of this episode, I think, especially like exhaust, sissy bar, fender, getting stuff tack welded and welded up, just basically getting all the fitment. And then whenever it came to the engine, we just weren't feeling super confident about getting this one back on it. And so, yeah, we're going to throw an S&S 1250 Hooligan. So that'll be next portion of the video whenever we resume. I think it's like part 4 or part 5 of the modern chopper build.
Unfortunately, it's got a lot of parts.
Yeah, but it's cool to see it progressing and like getting to the point that
Hey,
it has.
Let me cut in real quick. Do you want to share one thing with people that I don't think you realized? What does it take to do that?
Oh, the exhaust. There's a lot of back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, cutting, grinding, you know, coming back, making sure it fits, and then whenever you're all done with it, it's still like you're still
done.
any little tiny change here makes a massive change over here.
Truth
Exhaust
be
portion.
told, and anybody out there that's done metal will know, when we welded this, you can kind of see where this changed color. Well, guess what happened? This bananaed.
Yeah.
Just subtly, but it actually pulled this point towards the front of the bike. So now we'll have to do a little metal shaping and we'll get everything to fit just
Yeah.
right. You know, as you were saying, maybe people don't realize that, but this is a completely one-off exhaust system. If it was short, it might have taken us 2 hours, but because it's so damn long, make that 2 days, 3
Yeah.
days worth it.
Lots of back and forth and
Yep.
tedious little small work, but it's fucking cool, man. It's definitely worth it. Anyways, yeah, if you did enjoy this episode, do me a favor, hit the like. If you guys aren't subscribed, hit subscribe, hit the bell icon so it sends you notifications of future uploads and activity. Until next time, ride safe, stay vigilant. Catch you guys on the next one.
Yeah, just hit accept your significant other.
That's good advice from Chris. Always accept your significant other.
No,
Is that what you just said?
He's like, just hit this and hit that. I'm like, yeah, just hit.
Oh.
Everything. Except your significant
yeah.
other.
I mean, you know, and other humans too.
Well, you could take your chances out there. I don't care. I mean,
Oh my goodness.
some grown people might beat your ass, but now you can cut all that.
Anyways, bye.